and about Project 2025, and just to explain that the ultimate goal of Project 2025 is to promote conservative and right-wing policies and reshape the United States government altogether.
Carl, let me say this. Listeners, I would like you to take out your pen and pencil. If you have not looked at what this agenda is or this project is, I want you to take some notes now, because this is a real civics class that you will want to know before you get to the election to your precinct. You need this information. So get your pen and pencil and take out some notes so you can pass this information along. Go ahead, Carl. I'm sorry.
Again, the project's ultimate goal is just to reshape conservative and right-wing policies in the United States government, and to black and brown folk. When you're talking about conservative policies, that is not applicable to us in terms of being advantageous to us. And all of this goes into place, this Project 2025, again, if Donald Trump is elected. If he's not, all bets are off. They are saying that they're going to shape this whole project on 4 pillars, Joyce. Number one, a mantle for leadership. They're going to have a database. They're going to have online training, and they're going to have a playbook so that if Donald Trump is elected, he can hit the ground running. And they've been working on this since 22, I think it is. They've been working on it to put this in place, and they are not playing.
No, they're not.
This database has all kind of stuff that they need to use in order to train people. They want to have a systematic new army, and I'm not being overly dramatic, a new army aligned, trained, and weaponized so that they can hit the ground running on day one if Donald Trump gets elected.
So all of this training has been taking place all the time.
You can go online and look for these things.
Yeah.
They've already had classes and seminars, but they've got this set up where, they're ready to train people and training. They're training people. They do things like deal with the quote unquote deep state, which is their enemy, and the swamp. Remember, they were going to clean out the swamp before. And they throw around words like the deconstruction of the administrative state in plain and simple language, putting it down on the ground where the goats can get it, where you can understand that what they're talking about is taking away the Constitution of the United States and setting up a whole new government. I'd like to, Joyce, go over, first of all, the alignment of 2 things. There is something called Trump's Agenda 47, which are policies that his campaign people supposedly had put together for him, policies for him to run on. If you line them up with Project 2025, you will see that they're so similar, there's no mistaking who they were written for. And in that Agenda 47, there are things like appointing 100 United States attorneys who would be aligned with Trump's policies, and they would be able to investigate any left-leaning, anybody that's not conservative, district attorneys. That's number one. They would establish a task force on protecting the right to self-defense. And they would fight anti-conservative bias at law schools and law firms. The thing that's scary to me about this Agenda 47 is things are kind of hazy the way they're written, and they can take it to any area that they want. This protecting the right to self-defense, to me, that's not good news for black folks and brown folks.
We've had too many people who have been shot through the door.
Protected by people who were protecting themselves.
Yes.
Right. And that scares me. They're talking about hiring and keeping police officers and increase protections for them from liability. In this town, we talked about that a lot in terms of being able to go after police, who were wrong in terms of abusing people, and they want to increase protections from personal liability. of policemen, and they want to push policies that deal with stop and frisk. Again, that's not good news for us because you know who they're going to be stopping and frisking all of the time and using excuses to do bodily harm.
Right.
They want to dismantle every gang, every street crew, and every drug network in America, and employ federal troops, including the National Guard, to do this. Can you imagine who that's going to affect? I can tell you who it's going to affect. It's going to affect the same people that populate our prisons now.
Yes,
and that's Black and brown people, because of the justice system that we have that's far from being blind and equal. And you can look at the percentage of Black and brown people in the United States of America and then juxtapose that to the population of prison systems, and you see what I'm talking about. So you know when they start talking about doing this and restoring quote unquote law and order, we have a problem as Black and brown people. That's why I say this is not a dress rehearsal. People who have not voted, people that are running around here thinking about voting for the wrong guy, have to get their stuff straight and understand, and understand the consequences of what they do. And they want to impose a death penalty for drug dealers, for drug cartels, and for human traffickers. Again, you know who they're going to accuse of all of that. You know, it's going to be terrible. And this is only Agenda 47.
Right.
This is Trump's thing. This is not project. Yeah, and they want to prohibit any undocumented immigrants from receiving any benefits. They come here, they can't receive nothing, sick or not.
If they let them in.
They can't receive anything. And here's the thing, as I understand it, if a person comes in and they don't have citizenship papers, but a child is born while they're here, that child born on American soil is a United States citizen.
That's what it is now.
They're talking about taking that away. They're talking about taking that away. That's just Trump's Agenda 47. And looking at how it lines up, Joyce, we look at the fact that this organization called the Heritage Foundation, which consists of 100 conservative organizations, including America First Legal Foundation, which is headed by Stephen Miller. Remember him? Senior advisor to former President Trump. They decided that what they want to do is too big for like just one foundation, like the Heritage Foundation to do. They got 100. They have 100 now that are in place that put all of this together. Now, besides Stephen Miller, who is heading up the America First Legal Foundation, which is part of this 100, they've got 140 of people that used to work for Trump involved in this, 140. And Joyce, for our audience, it's important that you go online and look at the video of Paul Dan, Paul, Paul Dan, Dan. Just look, pull that up, and it'll show you, because he's got several videos out that talks about all of them. Talk about it in terms of what they're going to do. They need to just go over it, because there's no way I can go over all of it in the time allotted to you and I.
It's a lot.
But they need to go and just listen. It is truly scary. Just Paul Dan. Just Paul Dan Project 2025. Just pull that up and they will see. In it, they'll see things like, and if they read Project 25, they'll see things like they want to do a freeze on hiring top career civil service positions right at the beginning of Trump's administration. And I keep saying his name because it's written for him. If he doesn't get elected, it's all off. But if he does, these are the things they want to put in place. They want to dismantle independent federal agencies that do not answer to the president of the United States, and then fill these positions with people who subscribe to, who agree with conservative policies. They're setting up a dictatorship. They really are. I also advise people, read about World War II. See how that started. See exactly how Hitler did that. Just see exactly what he put in place, what he took out of place, what he took over, politically, media wise. Just read it, and it's scary when you read it. And then you read all of this kind of stuff because they are setting Trump up to be a dictator. They're setting him up to, and I know I'm not speaking out of school because he himself said he's going to be one. That's
right from the start.
The closer we get to election day, Joyce, the bolder people are getting. I mean, they are now just telling you, besides the lies, they are now telling you what they're going to do. If they get that control, they're out now telling you what they're going to do. And you understand that a lot of people get on Donald Trump a lot. But I say this, that's fine. But you got to also understand almost half of America voted for him.
Right.
So we have a bigger problem than him. Right. He's a sure enough problem, but we got a bigger problem. And what that means is people going to have to get out and vote, or they're going to wake up in a world of trouble. Come, what is that? November 6th?
Yes.
Yes, you'll wake up in a world of.
Carl, let me ask you a question. Do you think that the women's impact, will that decrease any of this? Do you think that is going to matter in terms of the number of votes?
Not only do I think that, I'm dependent on it. And I say that, Joyce, because, and I say this, and I'm not throwing shade on my brothers, or any men out there, but Joyce, women vote.
Yes, they do.
As sure as they go to church and feel, the pews. Yes. Well, you look, and you see the populations there. It's mostly women.
Yes.
Women also vote, and I am sure that they're going to be dependable, not only because they've always voted, as opposed to men, their count has been bigger. I think if you check it out, you find out. But this time, I think it's going to be even more powerful because they're mad. They're mad about this abortion thing. They're mad about somebody telling them what they can and cannot do with their own bodies. Yeah. And so, I think that women are going to have a powerful impact. And Joyce, I'm talking women of every color, women of both parties.
Correct.
I think are going to vote.
There have been some powerful statements in the ads that they're doing on television. So
yeah, but I look at just what has happened with the Supreme Court. There's such a thing as going too far. I think they went too far. Telling people what they can and cannot do, just taking things a bit too far. And I think that they've got the average woman upset, and that's bad news. to upset women at voting time. If you're running for anything.
If the sky were to fall, I'd be the first to call. Some of us are brave.
You are listening to Community Connections, community talk for community people, and Sunday Civics with Joyce Harvin and Carl Williams. We will be right back.
Who's gonna feel my pain? Who's gonna say my name? Ain't no joy but to be brave.
Saginaw voters, there's an extremely important election on November 5th. I'm Tori Buckley, host of Convo with a Boss podcast. My voice and podcast has helped educate listeners on the needs of our community. That's why I'm asking you to do something for the future of our community, our state, and our nation. I'm asking each of you to vote on November 5th. This time around, we need everyone to be all in. Please vote. Don't forget to check me out on Convo with a Boss on YouTube on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Thank you.
You are listening to Community Connections, community talk for community people, and Sunday Civics with Joyce Harvin and Carl Williams.
Because yes, I think that women are going to have a powerful impact on this upcoming election. And while we're at it, I'm going to urge everybody again, women out there, please vote. Men out there, please vote.
Right.
Not only do you vote, but you go get all your relatives, but cousin Buddy,
everybody,
cousin Nate, Go get everybody out there and take them to the polls with you. If they haven't voted by absentee. Joyce, another interesting thing they've got in Project 2025 is that the president's going to reissue Schedule F. Schedule F is it's an executive order that Trump put into place that Biden actually took out of place. And what this order did was it recategorized career civil servants into at-will employees. It took civil servants and put them into a category of at-will employees. And at-will employees can be terminated without cause.
Just like
you ain't got to have a reason, except that you just want to do it. Well, the Schedule F that Trump had put into place did that. Biden took it out. But 2025 is talking about putting that back in. They want to revamp the existing appeals process for when you dismiss an employee. Right now, employee, rightly so, has the right to appeal it.
Right.
They want to change that. I want to be able to let you go at will, and I want to make it so that you can't do anything about it in terms of appealing it.
Whether you've been there for 3 days or 30 years.
Doesn't matter. At will means at will.
Yeah.
I can just let you go because I don't like you.
Mm-hmm.
Or particularly if you don't do what I want you to do. And all of 2025 is telling me that they're asking you to look at Trump like you look at a dictator.
Mm-hmm.
And if he doesn't do that, they can fire you at will and just let you go. And there's nothing that you will be able to do about it.
Any of the union people can do anything about that in your behalf. None of that can happen.
No appeal means no appeal. Well, and you remember last week we talked about what they plan to do with unions. They plan to just take them out. They plan to do all of these things that will put the conservatives in position. And you can see it.
You are listening to Community Connections, community talk for community people. Please tune in next Sunday for the second part of today's show with Carl Williams and myself, Joyce Harvin. I'll be right back.
In the Supreme Court selections, that did the reversal of Bush, you can see things just being put in place. The way I like to put it is the people who are doing this, they know about long-range game.
Mm-hmm.
They worked on overturning Roe versus Wade for 50 years.
50 years, you're right.
Yeah, that's long-range game. Yeah. Until they got the right people on the Supreme Court to do it.
Yes.
And they worked on this, at least since 1922.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think
Not
that
1922, for 2022.
Do you think that they will ever change the Supreme Court? Change how they do business, letting them be on the Supreme Court until their death? Is that ever going to change? Do you think it will?
I certainly hope so. But Joyce, as with anything else, if we can just understand this, it is up to us. Mm-hmm. It's up to the people. If we really want to change that, if we really want to change that, then we need to put people in office who will do it. And it's got to change because now it's out of control. Mm-hmm. It's way out of control. And, to tell an individual you can do things as president and be immune from prosecution. You can do anything, just about anything. To be able to tell a person that, you don't need to be sitting on anybody's court because because we always say it, Joyce, but we've got to practice it. Nobody's above the law.
No, that's right. Even the president.
But if you tell the president he can do anything with immunity, he is above the law. Mm-hmm. And we cannot stand that. One of the things that we have to remember is if we read our history books, they will suggest to us that the greatest civilizations on earth weren't destroyed by external forces. Mm. They imploded. They were destroyed from within.
Within. Okay, I got you.
We got to remember that. We have to remember that we have to be very, very careful with this grand experiment that we call America. Mm-hmm. It is not perfect, but it's a lot more perfect than having no constitution at all, having a president who's immune to any prosecution for doing anything, sending SEAL teams out to shoot people, just anything. He's immune to it. We've got to make sure that we keep the Constitution in place, because once that goes out of place, you got nothing. You're a third world country all over again. I thought this was interesting. He's talking about having conservative warriors, quote unquote, ready on the very first day of Trump's presidency to take over positions for different governmental apartments. On the very first day.
On the very first day. Like on the 7th.
They call it hit the ground running. Yeah. And then they got all these things that they put in place, or that they call those 4 pillars. They've got all that put in place already for training and everything else for people.
They're training those people right now.
To help them.
Who's paying?
To help them. I have no idea.
Okay.
They also want happy warriors who are against the United States government, because as they see it, the deconstruction of the administrative state needs to take place, because what they're saying is the present United States government is no good. That's scary just hearing that, or just saying it out loud. That's scary that when you think people think that way. But Joyce, when you look at almost half of America voting for Donald Trump, you gotta know things like maybe the Civil War never really ended. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that, there seems to be half the people in this United States that want to turn over the government. Mm-hmm. And January 6th kind of showed us that.
That's right. I was just thinking about that, Carl.
Yeah. And, we need to look at that.
Yeah, that was a fight.
Yeah, which tells us we need to fight. And I'm not talking about physically going down the street and fighting, but we need to fight at that ballot box.
Right.
We need to fight and show people that this place that we live in called America is worth fighting for. Mm-hmm. Because we certainly don't want to live under. I'm telling you, talking about going back to being conservative, I said it over and over again. I don't want to go back to conservative time, because conservative policies were beneficial to me. As a black person, they were not.
Right.
They were absolutely not. And we've got to look at that.
You're listening to Community Connections with Joyce Harvin on KISS 107.1.
Unlock big savings and add style and security to your home with Schlag door locks from Menards. Whether you're looking for a traditional interior lock or a Wi-Fi compatible electronic lock, Menards has you covered with more than 200 options of Schlag door locks in stock. Save big on Schlag door locks. And don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
It's spooky. It's scary. It's bleeding you dry. It's your old car. Currently buried in a loan or lease, Mac the Tradman will get you released. Put 0 down, 0 payments until next year, or 0% financing on every clearly marked McDonald GMC, because everyone gets employee pricing. New McDonald GMC Terrain, just $199 per month lease, or take $6,000 off the all-new GMC Acadia. With any trade, pay the same price or less than a comparable Chevy. New GMC Sierras, lease just $172 per month, $14,000 off MSRP on every clearly marked new crew cab or heavy-duty diesel. We're bigger, we're better, and we make car buying fun. Plus, with every purchase this month, McDonald GMC will donate to the American Cancer Society. McDonald GMC, State Street, Saginaw. We are professional grade. On approved credit, not all will qualify. Plus tax, title, license, and $260 title and registration processing fee. Bonus cash with qualified 2020 or newer trade. Plus dealer discount on Sierra through GMF. Terrain, $27.78 per thousand. Negative equity refinanced. Rebates and incentives to dealer. 24 months, $21.95 due. 10,000 miles. Offers not in combination. Expires 10/31/24.
Now is a great time to start your holiday shopping at Meijer. Save big this week with our early holiday deals. Save $40 on a Gourmet air fryer. Save $30 when you buy a Keurig K-Slim single-serve coffee maker. And for the competitive ones on your gift list, select board games are 20% off. Shop even more great gift ideas like these in the Meijer Holiday Gift Guide. Available on Meijer.com, in-store, or in the Meijer app. Exclusions apply.
Craving bold flavors?
Yeah.
Drift into Checkers and Rallies and get the new $5 T-Pain for Real meal.
T-Pain? For real?
For real. Choose from our classic burger or our new barbecue spicy chicken sandwich.
Yum.
Plus our new barbecue chicken bites, fries, and a drink for just $5.
For real.
for real. Grab the T-Pain for Real meal, only at Checkers and Rallies. Available at participating locations only while supplies last. T-Pain for Real meal includes 8-piece barbecue chicken bites, small fry, and 16-ounce fountain drink.
Hey, it's Steve Harvey, y'all. Here's what happened on the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Would you rather attend a Trump rally or would you rather go to a Broadway musical? You know you don't like musicals.
Not that you sigh.
Yeah, I'd rather just go on down there and get in them 4-5 fights I'm going to get in because I'm going to just haul off, start sucker punching people. Yeah. Yeah, I just go on down there and get my fight game on. I won't sucker punch for you anyway. But what I'm not going to do, Oklahoma. Kiss 107.1, simply the best R&B.
It's Straight Talk, straight with no chaser. It's Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen, getting right to the heart of the matter, giving you all of what's happening in Saginaw and the Great Lakes Bay region, all at a grassroots level. Sundays at 6 p.m. on Kiss 107.1.
This is your KISS community page, where you can find out about all of the great things that are going on in Saginaw Bay City and Midland. Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, Zeta Gamma Sigma Chapter, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, and Zeta Omega Zeta Chapter presents Empowering Our Community. It's a candidate forum happening on October 26th from 1 to 3 p.m. It's going to be held at the Hoyt Library, located at 505 James Avenue, right here in Saginaw. It's the 7th Annual Women's Empowerment Tea, Denims, Pearls, and Girls, happening Saturday, October 26th at 1 p.m. at the Saginaw Valley Church of the Nazarene, located at 1815 Tibbawasi Road. Get ready for empowerment speakers, food, community resources, entertainment, vendors, and more. And women, bring your favorite girl with you to be empowered. For more information, you may contact Vanessa Jones at 989-399-6913 or Tiffany Pruitt at 989-332-1424. Community organizers, please submit your events at least 2 weeks in advance to kisswtlz.com.
And now back to Community Connections on Kiss 107.1.
Hey, good afternoon. How are you? I hope that you enjoyed that first part of our civic lesson with Carl Williams. Listen, I am so excited. I lost my train of thought, but I'm so excited about the two ladies that I have here for the second part of the show. Okay, now first I want to tell you, you do not want to turn off the radio next Sunday, okay, because I'm going to play the other half of that show with Carl Williams. We did a lot of work. He did a lot of work in putting that together. And then I think that we have 2 other Sundays that we're going to bring information to you about Project 2025. So please put that on your calendar and tune in to Community Connections, Community Talk for Community People, so we can give you some additional information before you go to the polls. Do not be scared and do not be fooled. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
All right.
But listen, this afternoon for the second part of the show for today, we are live in the studio, and I want to introduce a producer that I have talked my head off to get her to come and do some work for me, because she's a very talented young lady. And so just let me introduce her with a few words. But we're going to be talking about Breast Cancer Awareness Month. She's going to introduce that topic and the guest and talk about this. But my new producer, this is her very first time doing this, producing the show. Her name is Patrice Boulware. She is a community activist. She is also the founder and director of Project Unify, okay? Yes. And also Steadfast Entertainment. Yes. She is on a roll. I'm happy for her, really. I am. But please just give me 30 seconds about what Project Unify is and what you have done with the Veterans Memorial.
Oh, my. Project Unify is just a small group of people who are concerned about the city that we live in, love where we live, and want to make a difference of childhood memories, which was the Veterans McKinney's Park, which we
Right.
affectionately call as VETS, and then the Unity Park. So on the north side and the east side, which is deemed as dead zones or, inner urban city neighborhoods and communities. And so what Project Unify had done since 2012 is just breathe some life back into it.
Okay.
And so we've revitalized. We constantly beautify, just keeping up the park to make it safe, clean, and just want to bring people, families, youth, seniors back out to the parks.
Okay, great. That's a good beginning. I don't want you to go over the time because we have a lot to talk about. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I'm so glad that you decided to join up and work with me as a producer. So at this time, I would like to have you introduce your topic and your guest.
Okay. Again, I am Patrice Boulware, community activist here in the great city of Saginaw, Michigan, and I am grateful for this opportunity. Thank you, Joyce, for trusting in me. Yeah, man, I don't know what she's seeing me, but hey, I thank you. And so today our subject is breast cancer awareness, and in our studio we have the lovely Latanya Comer, and welcome.
Welcome to Community Connections and the studios of Alpha Media USA.
Thank you.
All right. So just to let you know that Latanya is a breast cancer survivor, and I know her to be a fighter. And I just want to share a little bit of Latanya's bio. So Latanya Comer is 36 years old. She's a business owner of Hope 113 LLC.
We're going to talk about that later for a few minutes. Go ahead.
Okay. And she is the mother of one.
Right?
Yes.
And that, I got a question now. But,
right.
So her name is Hope. And that says a whole lot.
Now, you are a very religious person.
Yes,
you
that's
believe in the
correct.
power of God.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Man.
All right.
So Latanya went to school by way of the Saginaw School District. She graduated from the Buena Vista School in 2003. In early 2009, Latanya received a medical certificate in a medical assistant from Ross Medical Education Center.
Good.
She also obtained an Associate of Arts in Administration in 2013 and a Bachelor of Science in Health Administration in 2016. She's on a roll.
Yes.
After running a well-known weight loss clinic for 2 years, she decided that she wanted to become more involved with the individuals that she had encountered. Her next steps was to leave the office setting, and she set out to become a home health aid provider. And that covered the Saginaw Bay surrounding areas. Helping others has always been a passion for you.
Yes.
And it was her reason for going into the medical field. And so while never leaving the medical setting, she encountered many, many, many numerous other positions. And so just to name a few, she had some warehouse work experiences. She worked as a manager and financial secretary of the First Congregational Church in Saginaw. She also was an operational manager and an account executive of Faith and Family Help Home Services, and many more. I'm telling you, her current employment is, you want to share?
I currently work at the Saginaw County CAC, which is a nonprofit organization here in Saginaw.
Okay.
All right. I got a zillion questions for you about CAC.
All right. And so Hope, there's something about that name, Hope, I tell you.
Yes, there is.
So now, shortly after Hope was born, you then, which was 2009,
No, Hope was born in 2017.
I'm sorry. When I am so sorry. When am I looking at? 2009. We went back. Okay, that's when the medical assistant
Yes, that's when I
transpired.
Yes.
Okay. So in 2017, Hope was born.
Yes.
Okay. And then what age were you and Hope when you found out that you had cancer or had a knot? We didn't know that it was cancer at first.
Right, that's correct. So I was 32 years of age, and Hope was around 5 months, going into 6 months maybe.
And that's so early.
It is.
So
it is.
young.
So young. So what did you do when you found out that you had breast cancer?
So when
if you can walk us through that, what happens when you?
Yes, when I find out. So I was doing a self breast examination, which all women should do. I know we get out of the habit of not doing that,
Right.
but it's very important, as you can see. So one day I was doing one of those when I exited the shower, and I noticed something that was there that was never there before. And so I quickly contacted my doctor and I let her know, I need to come in and see what's going on. I found something. She was like, okay. So when I went into the doctor, it was so small, like smaller than a pea. She could not even find it. So I had to actually place her hand where it was so she could feel it. And after that, she did send me to get a mammogram done. It did show that there was something there. During the mammogram, they checked both breasts. So there was a lump that they found in both breasts, actually. And so I had it biopsied for the right breast, and it did come back cancerous. And so the doctor contacted me and they asked me, hey, it is cancer. Would you like to be seen here in Saginaw, or would you like to go down to the U of M, because I'm very familiar with the U of M? And of course, I did choose to stay here in Saginaw just because my daughter had just been born.
Okay. So from that, Patricia, you had another question about her journey.
Yes. Okay. So at the age of 32.
Yes.
So courageous. A lot of women begin to feel about the hair loss and even the breast removal. Does that define you, or did that define you as a woman?
It did not. And I will say, so depending on the individual, not everyone have to have their breast removed. Some people have lumpectomies where they just have that removed or a part of the breast removed, and then they go from there. But no, the hair or anything else never defined me. My main concern was living for my child. It did not matter whether I had hair or not. She's a child. She see people with hair. She see people without hair.
She knows mommy.
Right. So having hair did not define me. Having breasts doesn't even define me. As long as there's breath in my body and I can wake up every day to take care of the child that God has given me and no one else have to take care of her, then it doesn't matter. I could lose all my hair again today and still be fine.
And you are. I've seen you fight.
Yes.
And I know that your daughter, Hope, was definitely a focal point outside of your faith in God. Medication was prescribed.
Yes.
Along with chemo.
Yes.
So you did take the chemo.
Yes.
And did you have to have radiation?
No. So because of other underlying health conditions that I have, chemo was not on the list of things to do. It was not recommended by the doctors, just because of that. So I did take chemo for the first half, and then after I went and had surgery, I had to take so many more months or weeks of chemo to make sure all the cancer was gone. So you have to do 2 sets before and after.
You have been cancer-free for how many years?
So it will be 7 years, December the 15th, 2024.
You're wonderful. Wait your horn. I'll have them before the end.
I'll have a bell.
Yes.
Well, these decorations will take care of that horn and everything.
Yes.
Patrice has decorated the studio with the lovely colors
Yes.
of Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Mhm.
You know, just wonderful. I didn't ask her to do that. I was saying, well, whose birthday it was. But you did a great job.
Yes.
Thank you.
What are you looking for? Did you go back to work? What do you do?
Yes. So I did go back to work. It did take some time. Chemo really does drain you. A lot of the time. So with my chemo, it was scheduled 2 weeks out in the beginning because it took that long to recover from one treatment. So I would get a treatment done, and by the end of the second week, I would start to gain some energy back, and I was right back at chemo. So work was none and void during that time. It did take some time for me to get back in the medical field, which I did. And I did go over to Faith and Family. That's a healthcare agency. I worked there. And then now I'm currently at the Saginaw County CAC.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good, very good. Well, okay, we have 2 minutes. You know, this show goes very fast. And, you know, I have part one and then part two. But before the month is out, I'm going to bring you back. Okay. Because I want to get some more information out, because we have women who are less than 40 years old, and they're saying that we can,
yes,
you know, well, I'm not 40, but we can get breast cancer, a mammogram. Okay. So we want to get that information out. I'm sure that people have been talking about it on television, other radio, but I want to make sure that the message gets out on Community Connections.
Yes.
What you should be doing. If you are a young lady, if you feel any lumps or anything in your breasts or over, you need to check that out. Don't be afraid.
Correct.
Do not be afraid.
Correct.
You're a survivor.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So, you know, we want to make sure that we get this information out. So
Yes.
we're going to come back. It might be just for another 15 or 20 minutes, but we're going to come back.
All right.
Just when Patrice. I was going to call her Pat. You know, this is my good sister here.
Yes.
One of only 2 or 3 that I have. Okay. And she's on top of everything. She's on top of everything. So will you come back with us to us with some additional information?
Yes, I would love to, because we definitely need to know about Hope 113.
Yes. Okay.
And also for people who don't have medical insurance.
Okay, yeah,
they
definitely
need the coverage. And I would like, if I may, just send a shout out to my brother who is in Sumter, South Carolina, who is listening live. So hey, Bear.
Hello,
Antoine,
Tony.
Devon, Tony. Hey.
Okay, it's time for us to go. He's Matt is saying,
Thank you.
cut.
Thank you for coming.
Listen, thank you for listening to this short portion about breast
cancer awareness.
Awareness.
Yes.
Okay. And we'll talk to you next week. Okay.
You've been listening to Community Connections with Joyce Harvin on KISS 107.1. The views and opinions expressed on Community Connections by the host, its guests, or call-ins do not necessarily represent the opinion of this station, the staff, its owners, Alpha Media USA, or its advertisers. You're listening to Community Connections with Joyce Harvin on KISS